I haven't watched a gaming awards or gaming conference or a gaming show or anything like that since the G4 days, if you know what G4 is. My PS5 isn't even hooked up right now. Life is busy right now and I just can't justify playing a game when I'm trying to do so many other things. But if y'all didn't know, I've been a gamer my entire life. I have a very vivid memory of being a little boy and my oldest brother, Ricky, throwing a controller at our Sega because of a tennis game, and then there was no more Sega. I also have a memory of when Kingdom Hearts 2 came out. My brothers wouldn't let me play it. Of course, we're all sharing a console, and very quietly, in the throes of the night, I snuck into the, the little common room where we had it set up to play and beat it because there was no other time I was going to be able to get on the game. So I've been a gamer my entire life, all the way through. I've been on and off playing, but really been out of it the past few years because I really haven't had the time. I would love to get back into it. So I decided to watch Summer Game Fest. I took notes on a few of the games that I saw that interest me. So I just want to talk about them and, might get back into gaming, might not. So I'm just going to go through my notes and talk about some games that were interesting to me. If they were interesting to you, let me know. If they weren't, let me know. And if there was a game that I missed that was interesting to you that I didn't find interesting because I didn't talk about it, let me know. It's admittedly a long list because like I said, I haven't been gaming. I really just played Elden Ring and Neo 3 were the last two games that I really sunk my teeth into. So it's going to be a speed round. I'm going to try to get through these quick. And if I have a lot more thoughts on them, I'll talk more. If I don't, well, then I'm just going to go quick. Resident Evil Veronica. I've never played a Resident Evil game, but the graphics look cool. Right here I said, that's pretty much all I said. The graphics look cool. It looks interesting. If I ever did get back into gaming, should I play the Resident Evil games? Y'all let me know what the best ones are and might tap in. But once again, I don't even have my PS5 hooked up right now. Alien Isolation 2. I have never played a scary game, not Dead Space, not Resident Evil, clearly not any of that. But it did look interesting. I watched all the Alien movies, Sigourney Weaver. It looked interesting. Clearly there's an Alien Isolation 1 because this is Alien Isolation 2. So if you played the first one, let me know how you liked it. And maybe when I get back into gaming, I'll give it a try. Now here's another game that I found really interesting. I never played Shadow of the Colossus, but it's from the same creator of that game. And I believe it's called Gen Atlas. It just looked really interesting. I feel like in my older years, I'm getting more interested with, more narrative focus, more deep dive, interesting concepts when it comes to games when I am playing them, except for when, it's action, difficulty focus like a Neo or a Elden Ring, which I still think both of those games have interesting lore and things to delve into. But this one looks to be similar. It's not like an action game. It appears more of a shooter, which I'm not the biggest fan of shooting games. But in this context, with the interesting concept that it looked like it was given off, I would be interested. Next was another narrative focused game that was set in kind of a Chinese medieval period, and it's called Blood Message. This one I was like, oh yeah, I gotta get on this one. It seems like you get to play multiple characters. The action looked good. The time period looks good, where I feel like not too many games focus on that specific time, especially from a narrative standpoint, action standpoint, which it did look like an action game, but they don't really delve too deep into like a narrative, which I feel like this game is doing. So I'm looking forward to that. Or I should say, seeing more from that. There was a Hex game that I wrote down, which was another narrative focused game, but it's just with the shooters and the army. I know it had a little bit interesting sci-fi twist to it, which kind of, interests me a little bit, but just, I'm just kind of off of that. I played zombies years and years and years ago, and it's just so much shooting without much else going on. And that to me is just not something that interests me, but this game looked like it had a little bit more to it. So I might peep that, but I'm just not big on shooters, I have to be honest. Mortal Shell 2. Now, I didn't play Mortal Shell 1, but I did hear about it as kind of like a darker Skyrim type. And obviously Skyrim top 5 game all time for me. I put thousands of hours into that game. I know it's a little bit lower quality, more of an indie game type of feel, but from the gameplay I saw, it looked pretty cool and it's a little bit darker feel, which I like. So I'll definitely be looking forward to looking more into that. The Assassin's Creed Black Flag remake. Not interested at all. I just put it on here because I wanted to talk about how these companies are just going for cash grabs. I know that's kind of every company, capitalism and all that, but they picked the game that everybody cried and complained and said this was the best Assassin's Creed game, and it went downhill from there, and they chose to remake that. They didn't remake the original, so you can't tell me that this has any purpose. What is the purpose of this game outside of just making money? Because they took out all of the Desmond stuff. They took out, I guess Desmond will be gone at this point, spoiler alert, but they took out all the present day stuff, which is what the whole story of Assassin's Creed is based on, starting from that point. So they're really just cash grabbing y'all with the seafaring battles and all that stuff with, Edward Kenway. I just can't get down with it because I see what's really going on behind it, and that just makes the game really unappealing to me, so I would not be picking that up. I have the last Ronin on here, which I did not really get when they were showing the trailer, but it's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle game, so I definitely would be down to see more of that because obviously, you know, I'm down with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, turtles in a hot shell, turtle power. I messed up, so everything I said about that game Hex, I actually meant about this game from Naughty Dog called Crossfire. So take everything that I said about Hex. I don't even know what Hex is. I don't even remember why I wrote that down. I don't even know what that one is. Is that the one from the same team that made The Division? I think it is. I wasn't too interested in what they had going on. So everything that I said about Hex, I meant about Crossfire. Now we got an MMO called Guild Wars 3. I've heard of Guild Wars before, never played it. The last MMO I played was called Cabal Online. If y'all know Cabal Online, fire. The animations of the attacks, fire. It's an older MMO, but that's the last one I played. This one seems to have more of a fantasy setting, which I'm always down for. Like, my kind of gaming taste is if it got dragons, swords, anything mystical to it, I'm interested. If it has a narrative focus, I'm interested. If it's just shooting for the sake of shooting, not interested. And I'm not really into sports games either. I'm just letting y'all know that up front. Then we had Star Wars Racer I have written down here. It looked cool, pod racing, you know, all that's dope. But once again, it just seems like a cash grab because this is an idea that's been floating around since the episode 1 came out. Now, I know there was a other pod racing game, but y'all are just now bringing back a pod racing game. It did look like it had a narrative focus, which I appreciate, but like, these games don't feel like they have any soul behind them. It doesn't feel like it has any heart behind them. And I love Star Wars. So it's just like, man, why am I supporting this if it's just a cash grab or it's just a soulless, lifeless thing that they're doing because they know it's going to nostalgia bait you. They know you're going to get it because you love that aspect. You've been waiting for a pod racer game. They're not going to give you the pod racing game that you really want. Then they showed a bunch of Switch 2 games. I don't have a Switch 2, so let's move on. Now, this game is right up my alley. Lords of the Fallen 2. I saw and I watched a lot of videos on Lords of the Fallen 1, but once again, I just don't have time. Maybe I should start a gaming channel or something. I just can't justify gaming as much as I want to with all the games I have, with also trying to, like, work and build my career. So all that to say is Lords of the Fallen 2 looked dope. I like the dark fantasy, very mature looking graphics with that moment to moment hardcore, Souls-like gameplay. It just looks dope to me. And the armors look cool. I'm big on the armors. The first thing I do when I'm deciding if I'm going to get a game or not is I go and I look at the armor sets, because if the fashion's not there, especially in a game like this, I'm probably not interested. I'm just going to be honest, but it looked good. And I saw that the development team did so much work on the last one with community feedback. So I feel like they're going to pour all of that into the next one, which means that it's a title that I would definitely want to check into. Now, this next game pissed me off. I have The Blood of the Dawnwalker. And the reason why this pissed me off is because they advertised the next game before they advertised this game. So at the beginning of the trailer, it's modern times, and I'd seen a previous trailer for this game, and it was all old medieval times. So I'm like, what's going on here? And they said, well, we're showing you where the story concludes for the next game. I don't want to see that. The first game's not even out. You don't even have my goodwill of the first game being out to show me the next game. I felt like that was in poor taste. Why are you showing me him modern day? So I already know how the story goes. I already know how the story finishes because you're showing me the main character in modern day when the first game hasn't even come out yet. It didn't really make sense to me why they did that. The next one that was interesting to me was the Monster Hunter Wilds expansion, Monster Hunter Wilds Ascendance. I didn't play the original Monster Hunter Wilds. I would love to. I played Monster Hunter World for a little bit. I just couldn't get into the gameplay. It just felt a little slow to me. So if Monster Hunter Wilds is a little bit faster, let me know. But I get that a lot of people like that style of gameplay with the positioning and the exact movements. I don't know. It just didn't click for me. Maybe I needed to play a little bit longer. So y'all let me know if I should give that another try. Then I have down this game called Stellar Blade Blood Rain. I'm not a fan of the infantilization of female characters with tight, mech suits on. It's just, the gameplay looked dope. It's just something about that. Like, the character looks so young, but they have her in this tight, like, suggestive clothing. Even people were saying it's kind of based off of, what was that anime called? They made a movie about it with Scarlett Johansson. Y'all let me know, but y'all know which one I'm talking about. But I don't know. Y'all let me know how you feel about that. Also, I forgot to mention, Wiz Khalifa being in a Hitman game, dope. And lastly, we have Final Fantasy Revelations. I haven't played any of the Final Fantasy 7 games that have come out. Y'all let me know, should I give it a try? I think that would be really dope. And, you know, to do a little playthrough of that. If I started a gaming channel, should I start a gaming channel? You know, that might give me a reason to justify playing all these games, especially to my girlfriend. We'll see. But that was all the games that I had written down. Was there a game that you like that I didn't talk about that you think is really interesting, you think I should have my eye on? I don't know. I'm kind of just getting back into gaming, as in like actually looking at the space of gaming as a whole and trying things that might necessarily be worth it to me in terms of time consumption, you know, really giving stuff a try without being guaranteed that I'm going to enjoy it. So let me know. How did y'all feel about the Summer Game Fest? I thought it was really good, and I saw a lot of other people thought it was one of the better game reveal shows that have happened in recent years. I haven't seen them in recent years, so y'all let me know. Did you like Summer Game Fest? Was it dope? Did it get you excited? And I'll see y'all in the next one.